Seersucker soup on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. I'm so happy that you're joining us today. We've got a great show today with lots of good things coming up in our community. We're going to be talking about A Moon for the Misbegotten, and that's over at the Civic Players in Schenectady. We're going to learn about that. We're also going to learn about Safe Incorporated of Schenectady. This is the first time they've been on the show. We'll be talking to them about what they are doing to make to help a lot of people that need a little help. We're also talking to a group from the Schenectady County Community College at SUNY, and they will be talking about the upcoming production of Amal and the Night Visitors. So we'll be learning about that as well. We're also having our wonderful calligrapher back on again. Richard Wang is on again to talk about what's coming up in our as a matter of fact, we have one of the posters over here that he brought, and we're going to learn a little bit more about calligraphy. And then we're going to be talking about to the Octavo Singers and finding out about their production coming up. And it's called I Was Glad, and that'll be at the First Reformed Church in Schenectady. So we'll be talking with all of those. As I said, this is a great lineup, so we're going to start right out with the Schenectady Civic Players and their production of A Moon for the Misbegotten by Eugene O'Neill. And we're going to find out, we got Evan over there, and he's the director.
Hello.
Hi, Evan. And who'd you bring with you today?
I have Jennifer Van Eiderstein, who plays Josie in the play, and I have Patrick White, who plays Jamie Tyrone.
Okay. And we know that Patrick does teaches acting as well as directing. You do it all, right?
Yes.
So this time you are in the play.
I am. I'm acting. Yes.
And tell me a little bit about
James
your
Tyrone.
part.
Yeah. James Tyrone appears in one of Eugene O'Neill's previous plays, Long Day's Journey into Night.
Oh, okay.
And it's based on his brother. His brother was an actor, like his father. And he was a chronic alcoholic, and he drank himself to death by the time he was 43 years old. And in this play, he's close to dying. And Moon.
So he's the alcoholic.
He is.
Okay.
Yes, Jamie Tyrone. And in some ways, similarly to Tennessee Williams writing a romance for his sister Laura, who never had that scene with the gentleman caller, Eugene O'Neill imagines a benediction for his brother, and that's the play, is him meeting Josie.
Who is Josie?
She is the tenant farmer in the O'Neill property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I live there with my father after all of my brothers have left because he's awful. Except I love him. We have a lot in common. And so she is a really tough woman who's had a difficult life. And she's a fighter who has to protect her vulnerability because vulnerability is weakness and it'll only get you hurt in this world. And she finds it hard to admit that she is in love with Jamie. But
she knows he's dying, right?
She doesn't. No, we don't, only spiritually. I mean, physically, I don't think she has any sense of how imminent his demise actually is, but spiritually, by the end of the show, she's very well aware of how far gone he is. And it sort of explores the idea of what it means to give someone the love that they need, even if it's not necessarily the way you hoped or dreamed of loving them.
Oh, well, that's pretty deep.
Eugene O'Neill kind of does that to you, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What do you think, Evan? Am I
Evan,
close?
How many are in the cast?
It's a 5-person cast.
Okay. And we know the main characters. Who else is in there?
Michael O'Farrell plays Phil Hogan, who's Josie's father.
Okay.
And then there's Joe Plock, who plays Mike Hogan, who is Josie's brother. And then Marty O'Connor plays the wealthy neighbor, T. Stedman Harder.
Okay. And this is an act play in 2 acts?
Yes, it is.
What are you doing? I'm looking at Patrick.
It's actually written in 4 acts.
Oh, okay.
But it's taken 2 acts. There's 1 intermission.
Okay.
But O'Neill's structure is 4 acts.
Okay.
We'll call them scenes. No one else has to know their acts.
Well, he calls them acts. Similar
his
to
thing.
Chekhov.
Who doesn't
We'll
love
keep that
Chekhov?
between the 6 of
Okay,
us.
good.
Okay.
Shakespeare wrote 5-act plays. So,
Yes.
Did he? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't even know that. Yeah. Shakespeare was. I always had trouble reading all of that in school, only because I didn't understand half the words that he used. Because I'm sure that someone reading some of our material 200 years from now is going to say, "What the heck does that mean?" So,
Oh, there is similarly. There's some Eugene O'Neillisms that he came up with. We were just talking.
for instance,
Nuts. I'm a big fan of the word nuts.
well, wasn't that Patton? Wasn't it Patton
Oh,
that
yes.
said that when they?
Well, maybe Jamie should have been in military, but he likes to say mix, and
Mine is Holy Joseph, which I now say in my real life.
Okay, well, that's a quick one. It's an easy one.
It works for so much.
It does. It does. It does.
It's a very Irish-influenced play, so there's
Of course,
a lot
with
of
Eugene O'Neill, you would expect that,
so
right?
there's a lot of old-timey Irish insults being thrown about to each other.
And they're wonderful. I love those.
They're beautiful.
What was it? Bad-tempered old runt? That was the one we
Bad-tempered
were
old
just talking
runt,
about.
the old
Yeah.
tick.
Dirty tick. I say that a lot. Too many times.
Dirty what?
Dirty tick. Yep. Too many times makes it confusing.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're learning new words that probably aren't quite as offensive as some of the other ones that we've been using right along.
there you go.
Yes. Safe for work insults.
Yeah. So when can we see this?
We open November 15th.
Okay.
There's also a Pay What You Will preview on November 14th. And it runs 2 weeks. And Schenectady Civic, for the second week, does a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule.
Yeah, yeah. And you can go to a matinee if you don't want to drive at night, for some people who don't want to drive at night. And you also have something new, and that's that Flex Pass, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you can, if you don't want to buy the whole season, which now the season is kind of done, you can still buy the three last shows.
You can buy a Flex Pass season, and it gives you a general admission ticket to any 3 shows that you want, and you just call or show up the night you want to see the show, and you can choose a seat from what's available.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea that this is brand new this year, right?
Brand new.
Yeah. And parking is not a problem. You park on the street, and there's usually no problem because it's after 5 o'clock, right? So that's not an issue. And what other shows do you have coming up, or can you recall them?
We just had auditions last night for 100 Saints You Should Know.
Yeah, so you're going to have 100 people in the cast?
No, smaller cast than that, but 100 Saints. So if you're interested in auditioning, there are another round of auditions on Thursday night for that. And then coming up after that, we have Casa Valentina, followed by Perfect Ganesh.
Okay. That last one is intriguing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think they're all very exciting. I think
Yeah,
it's gonna
and
be
of course, wasn't it Feinstein that wrote Casa Valentina?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fierstein. I
Pardon
think.
Fierce.
Fierstein, yeah. I knew that it was something in there. You know, when I have to draw on my Rolodex in my brain, sometimes things don't come out right. So anyway, but we want to encourage everyone to, support live theater. We'll be talking about it to another group today that's also doing live theater. I think it's so important to bring young people to this. Now, how appropriate would this be for young people?
It's not inappropriate.
You say teenage and up?
I mean, the themes are adult, but I think anyone can relate to a lot of them.
I always like to ask because, I mean, if you've got a kid, you'd like to bring them to live theater, let them see what it is and enjoy the idea of hearing people talk to you,
It
right?
is a classic text of American literature.
And Eugene O'Neill, of course. Yeah.
And really, high school kids should be seeing Eugene O'Neill.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest writers of American
Absolutely. We
theater.
have wonderful groups.
Extra credit opportunity for all the teachers out there.
That is a good idea, isn't it?
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah, well, you need to get it out there so that maybe they think about that, getting their kids to especially the groups that are in theater, they should be seeing theater and auditioning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if they can, yeah. Evan, this is, you've been directing a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I've been directing pretty consistently since 2019, except for that COVID break in the middle there
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
no one was directing.
Didn't we all have that, that little
This
break?
is my third play at Schenectady Civic. I did Frost Nixon, and then
Oh, yeah, that was very good, by
and
the
then
way.
I just directed Play It Again, Sam, a couple months ago.
Yeah, that was excellent, too.
Thank
It was
you.
really good. I
Thank you.
enjoyed that one. With that Bogart thingy in the background.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
it
was a fun
really
one.
good. Well, we want to encourage everyone to go to Schenectady Civic Players and enjoy the wonderful plays that they do put on. Everyone seems to be a classic, and they do bring out some that are new, and enjoy them all. So thank you all for being here, and I'm so happy. I can't wait to see the play.
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks,
Anne.
Yeah, and hear all those little sweary things.
Yeah.
So I can adapt some of them.
Can't wait to try to get them right.
Yeah, okay, good. You're still working on it, right? That was Jen Idercy, too, and Patrick White and Evan Jones. We're going to switch over to our next guest. We have Kevin here, Kevin Doherty, and he's the executive director of SAFE Incorporated of Schenectady. And I've heard about them, and I wanted to contact them to come on the show. And I don't know, sometimes things kind of slip by, but I have them here now. Great, yeah. So tell me, Kevin, SAFE Incorporated, you work with homeless, you look at exploited. Tell me more.
Yep. So Safe Inc. of Schenectady has been in Schenectady for 40 years.
40 years?
40 years, yeah.
Wow.
And we aim to prevent and end homelessness and trafficking for youth and adults. So we have.
You say adults too?
Yep. Yeah. Some of our programs are for adults. So we have a few programs. Some are for youth and young adults. Some are for adults.
But you said trafficking. Do they?
Yes.
Are adults trafficked?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So we operate a shelter for 16 to 20-year-olds here in Schenectady. We served 120 youth last year between the ages of 16 and 20.
There are 120 youth that need your help.
Correct. And there's actually more than that. But they would prefer to, if they're not staying at home, they would prefer to couch surf.
Yeah.
And go from house to house and stay with their
Find a
friends.
friend, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
As opposed to going to an environment where they
More
feel
structure?
where there's more structure, right? So that's our Dolores McIntosh house, and so we also have a street outreach program where we have staff who go out in the evenings and the afternoons to meet youth where they congregate to find out what kinds of needs they have, to hook them up with sources in the community, to help them stay at home, to help them get a job, to help them not live the street life. Last year we actually had 500 individual contacts with kids on the street, and some of them end up coming to SAFE, for a period of time.
It breaks my heart to hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
because where do these young people, what drives them? I know I've had kids and they get mad at me and but
Yeah.
they don't run away.
Right.
But the point is, what causes? What do you see as a theme? A string through
Yeah.
this.
So I think the biggest theme is there's something going on with the family that's usually related to poverty. So the family's feeling pressures, the family's feeling insecure, there may be substance abuse in the family. There are other things that make the youth feel unsafe.
And they
So
feel
they're looking-
safer on the street than they do.
Sometimes people feel safer on the street than they do at home because it provides them with a level of control that perhaps they're not feeling in other parts of their lives. And so we work with them and we try to make sure they're going to school, that they're getting their education, that they're getting some kind of employability, or if they need to stay somewhere for a period of time, they can come and stay with us.
Yeah.
And then we will, when they leave, they'll have somewhere to go. We never discharge anybody back to homelessness. They oftentimes go back home. We help to reunify them with the family. Or if they're 18, 19, or 20 and they need a place to stay, we help them to find an apartment and work. And
So you're really a skeleton of all this, kind of keeping things in order.
yes, trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
And in addition, we also have an anti-trafficking program.
I want
which
to know
is-
more about that
Yeah.
because, we hear about it and usually you say, well, people are, kidnapped or something, or I don't know how but usually it's drug use that will get them into some of those situations where
Yeah.
they're being controlled and then,
Right.
So, but do you see that in this area?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
do?
Yeah,
Okay.
and more often than not, it's not that people are being kidnapped, it's that people are being controlled
That's
and
what I said,
manipulated
control, yeah.
by people who are close to them. It's often a romantic partner,
Oh.
some other family member, a close friend who is able to take a vulnerable person and control and manipulate them in such a way that they will do things for a place to stay, for an income, for
drugs sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it seems to me, from what I've heard, a lot of times you get them kind of hooked on something so that you've got them grabbed
Yeah, but it's usually some type of control and manipulation outside.
emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally. Yeah,
Okay.
And they feel the need that they have to do this for survival. So we actually serve a 7-county area around Schenectady. We're funded by a grant from New York State, and we serve a 7-county area. And we have 3 case managers who provide intensive case management services to folks who are, trying to get out of that lifestyle and trying to find an apartment, find mental health, find a job, and be able to make that next move in their lives. Many of them have kids. Sometimes they have kids by the person who is trafficking.
Who is- yeah, okay.
So there's a whole, connection.
That is manipulative.
Right,
Yeah.
that is manipulative, and it's hard to break free of that if you have a child, because
Exactly.
you want to take care of yourself and your child.
All right. Now, my big question is,
Mhm.
where do you get your funding?
We get funding from a variety of sources. We get some federal funding, we get some state funding, we get county funding, and then we get some private donors.
Okay.
And what we're looking to do next is we're looking to provide transitional living for 18 to 24-year-olds in Schenectady for 18 to 24 months, so that we can, it's a period of time where a kid, needs some supports and some services.
And know that somebody cares.
And know that somebody cares. So we'd like to find sites and build some apartments or studios, and they can stay there for 18 to 24 months, finish their education, get some employment training, maybe get a car, and really help them to make that transition into the next step in their lives. And they have this, solid foundation upon which they can build upon.
Do you have a large staff, or do you have volunteers? How does that work? Because someone might be watching right now that thinks it would be able to help you.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of staff. We have between 15 and 20 staff, and I say.
Well, if you have a
between-
house, you've got to.
Right, we have to staff it.
Yeah.
And I say between 15 and 20 because we have part-timers. We have the residential staff. We have case managers, and we have street outreach workers. And then we have 2 administrators, myself, and an executive assistant operations manager, and that's our staff.
How do you get the word out to young people? I mean, I know that you're going out there, but is there like an underground of conversation going on with young people, or is that? I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you getting your word out? Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so we're doing it with outreach and with education and things like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're trying to get the word out to the greater community, as well as establishing relationship with youth who need the services, because they're hanging out with other youth who need the services. So there's the whole word of mouth. And we're also working with schools to try to help them to provide some services.
So you do work
to
with
folks.
schools as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure teachers might kind of hone in on that someone needs a little bit of help.
Yeah, and Schenectady, there was an article that the Schenectady schools had. The definition of homelessness is if they were housing insecure for one night, meaning they stayed with a friend or whatever. And there were 700 kids last academic year in the Schenectady schools. So, that's it's not that,
I'm astonished.
Yeah.
I am astonished at these numbers. That, I mean, granted, you might get mad at your parents and will stay at somebody's house for a night, but
Correct.
that doesn't mean you're homeless. or
right.
you don't-
It's housing insecure. It's not called homeless, but it's
Yeah.
housing insecure. But that points to that
We
there
aren't
may
using
be.
the words homeless anymore.
No, we
I
are,
don't think.
but in
Yeah.
this case, it's that, that there is something going on at home that makes them feel the need to perhaps stay somewhere else. And sometimes they're staying with their own family who lost their apartment. So,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That you do run into that
Yeah.
with people, you know, they need their house back or something, and
Yeah.
so they evict them or something.
Yeah.
Or they can't pay their rent.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. So I know that you encourage them to stay in school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, how about advanced education, or not even advanced? I think trades are really good.
Absolutely.
You know, and
Yeah.
they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you get your money going from the get-go.
Yeah.
You don't have to send out a million
Correct.
resumes and hope that somebody will take you with a BA in English or
Yeah.
something, you know.
Yeah. Yes, so there are some local organizations like the Seat Center here in Schenectady that provides employment training, and we refer a lot of our youth there. And then there's the Job Corps that many of our youth also access when they as part of their transition from our shelter. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of employability groups out there that help with that kind of thing.
Good. Now, you're 501c3?
We're 501c3.
So if
Yep.
someone wanted to send a donation to you or
Yeah.
learn how to volunteer, how do they contact you?
They can either call us at 518-374-0166, or they can go on our website where they can donate directly through the website.
And they can contact you through your website as well?
And they can contact us through the website.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an email address on our website.
Well, I hope that you get some volunteers and people that are, I got a bug here somewhere. I'm sorry, not you.
Yeah.
But I hope that someone will, you know, step up and do something. If you've raised your own kids and you know that sometimes it's difficult to raise them, maybe you'd like to volunteer to help another one along the way,
Yep,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, and what's your background, Kevin?
My background is I've done programs in human services for 30 years. I've done public finance. I'm not a social worker.
Yeah.
I'm more
Well,
like
you don't have to be if you've got the good people
correct,
around you. Yeah,
right.
that
So
can do-
I'm more like a
Administrator.
an administrator.
Yeah,
Yep.
good. Thank you for what you do and for helping the youth, because if we don't help them, they're just lost into adulthood.
That's
So thank
correct.
you so much for what you do. I really, really good.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to switch over to our next guest. And of course, last time we talked to Patrick White and Evan Jones and Jennifer Van Eiderstein about A Moon for the Best Begotten, but we're going to be talking about Amal and the Night Visitors. Good to see you again.
You too,
Last
Anna.
time you were on the show, you had a baby with you.
That's true. Marlo is at home, now 2¼ years old.
He came on the show with this little tiny baby. It was so cool. It was so
It was
cool.
a lot of fun.
Lots of fun to have you. So tell me a little bit about, you're the director,
I'm the stage director.
stage director, and we have
Mark Evans, the musical director.
and Mother?
And we have Aurelie Mendoza-Pinone, who is playing the role of Mother
Okay.
in Amal and the Night Visitors.
Okay, so tell me about this production.
So Amal and the Night Visitors is an opera that was written by Giancarlo Menotti, an Italian-American English language composer. And this was actually a made-for-TV opera that debuted in 1951.
Really?
Believe
I
it
must
or
have
not.
seen it. Maybe.
Yes,
I
and
don't
it
know.
was
I
a-
probably wasn't watching that.
A lot of people have fond memories of this playing
Okay.
on television throughout the 50s, 60s, and early 70s
Okay.
from their childhood. It is essentially a retelling of the Three
The
Wise
Three
Men,
Wise
or the
Men,
Magi
yeah.
story, inspired by, as far as I understand it, Menotti's own cultural upbringing in Italy, and then also the painting The Adoration of the Magi by Hieronymus Bosch, Dutch
Oh, yeah,
painter
Hieronymus,
from
yeah.
many centuries
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, okay, so, and it is being performed at SUNY Schenectady, right?
Yes, in the Carl B. Taylor Auditorium.
And you're one of the educators there, right?
I teach
Musical director and
musical
music
director.
department and the whole thing, right?
Right, yeah. So
Tell me more about it.
I'm the director of the chamber music series. So we put on several concerts a year. So I had the idea because I had seen actually Aurelie perform the Mother role at SUNY Purchase. Aurelie is an alumni from SUNY
Okay.
Schenectady, and I knew we had the cast to do it. We're using all either current students or alumni in the cast, and we have our select chamber ensemble, and they are the shepherds. They're singing and dancing.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and Christoph is an alumni from
Yeah.
SUNY Schenectady, and our choreographer is an alumni, and our orchestra members are either students or faculty.
Well, I know that I have heard such good things about the music department.
Well, thank
there.
you. Yeah.
No, I really have. I mean, they've said it's one of the best music departments in the area. And I believe that because you simply are doing some really good materials
Right, and we're trying to, a lot of our students are really interested in musical theater. And so we're giving them opportunities in this to take part in the production, not just act and sing in it, but take the role of a stage manager. We have some covers that are also covering some of the roles. And so it's a learning experience for them, it's educational for them. And we're trying to give them opportunities in this area.
Yeah, because they may not get that otherwise. Tell me, because I'm trying to envision this, and I probably have seen this in the past. I have to apologize. But the point is, how many, you got the shepherds and you got the wise men, how many are in the cast?
Right, so there are 6 principal singing roles in
Okay.
Amal and the Night Visitors. So there's the mother.
Okay.
There's Amal,
We got
a
to
young
talk to
boy,
her
of
in a
course.
minute. Go ahead.
And there are the 3 kings.
Okay.
So the mother's being played by Aurelie behind me here. Amal, the young boy, is being played by Isabella Kreitner. And then we have the 3 kings. Melchior, played by Devin Cannavale. We have
Oh, and he was
Balthazar.
on the show, yeah.
Yes, for
yeah.
his Requiem. And he's wonderful.
Wonderful. What a voice that man has.
And then Balthazar is played by Levon Scott. And the role of Casper, the comic king, if you will, is played by Anthony Mucci.
Okay.
And then we have the page, played by Cameron Moore, who is their servant. And then the vocal chamber ensemble, as Professor Evans mentioned, make up the ensemble.
Okay. Now, is this in English or Italian?
It's sung in English.
Okay,
yes.
so
it
everybody
was
can
written in
understand
English.
it, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, it's always difficult when I go to an opera, and unless they got the words going across the screen, I don't know what's happening. They look happy, I think.
Or they look angry, or they look sad.
I don't know. Yeah.
What is it
And
like
I
to sing
can't
in
tell what they're
English
doing.
language opera, Aurelie?
Okay,
Singing
and
English.
we're going to bring in Mom here, Mother.
Yeah, so singing English is really quite comfortable, obviously, because it's my native language. I have sung in various other languages at Purchase. They kind of train you through French, Italian, and German as well.
Ooh,
But in
really,
English,
you can sing in 3 languages.
yes, and so for English, really what needs to be focused on is the diction. More than anything, it's different, obviously, than when you just talked like I'm talking to you now. It's different than when we're
How
just.
is it different?
So the diction has to be much clearer when you're singing operatically, especially because some of the pitches that you're singing are different than the pitches you would speak in. So I'm speaking at sort of like a medium to low range in my voice right now, but I sing in a huge range.
Soprano. You're a soprano?
I'm a soprano,
Yeah.
yes. So when you sing in different regions of the voice, you have to make sure that your diction is so clear and so precise that your audience can understand you. And that's difficult to do sometimes as an operatic singer because the vowels are so much of the singing. A lot of the
okay.
technique comes in when you emphasize voiced consonants like V's and Z's and things like that. Or really create crisp diction with, unvoiced consonants like T's and K's and things like that.
So how is that different than French or Italian or German?
It's honestly actually a little similar to German. German also
Well,
really emphasizes.
English does come from
Yes.
Germanic.
Yes,
so
it does. It's similar to German in that the diction needs to be extremely clear, and a lot of the consonants are very plosive. They're explosive, so the K's and the T's are very forward and they're plosive consonants.
Whereas the French and Italian are Romance languages,
Yes.
so they're kind of
Exactly.
wiggly.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and being this is sort of an Italian opera, you kind of have to meld styles a little bit. And really bring the legato from the Italian opera tradition, and that sort of musical style that Italians are so known for. Mm-hmm. So this is such a fun opera because it kind of does meld the 2 styles, and I'm able to play in both regions of singing.
Have you performed this part before?
I have, yes.
Yeah,
When I was
okay.
at SUNY Purchase, I performed the role of the mother
Okay,
there
so
as
this
well.
is not an unknown to you.
Correct.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Mark, do you teach
Yes, I
voice?
I teach piano.
You teach, okay, so
Yeah.
you teach piano. But do they teach voice?
Yes, very much
Your
so,
music
yeah.
department
Very
covers
strong,
everything.
we teach-
Tell me a little bit more about the music department.
Well, I've been there for a long time, about 30 years actually, and it's grown so much. We've got a new building. We've got a recording studio. We have a degree in audio recording as well as performing arts. We have a couple of other programs, digital beat production, and a certificate of music production or course. So we're thriving. And
You used to have a video department, because I visited it when
I
they
think
did
so
have it.
too.
I don't know if
And-
they still have it.
Well, now we have a video class in our department too.
Okay.
And we have again, getting back to musical theater, we have an acting for singers class, which is new this semester. So it's doing very well.
Now, you do chamber music. Do they do any other productions there? I mean, do they do any like musical comedy? Do they do play? I mean, tell me a little bit.
This is actually our first in a while.
Okay.
So our first opera. So it's it's exciting to do, and we
Well,
want to.
you know, COVID kind of did a lot of craziness with
It did,
with getting
yeah.
things done. I mean, I know it dropped my show down, and I'm sure
Right.
it does it to every university. They were closing up, doing long. So you're kind of getting back into the swing.
In a strong way.
Yeah.
No, we've got a large enrollment, and so everything is going
Your
very well.
campus is really very, very nice now.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
remember
thank
when it was
you.
one building, and then it's kind of keep expanding, and now you drive in, and it's like, whoa, where did all that come from?
Yeah, no, it's a thriving college.
Yeah, it is very good. And so tell us about the production and when they can see it. And I think you have 2 dates that you're showing
We
it.
do. So this is
Performing
going to
it. Did I say
premiere
showing? It should be
a
performing.
week from Friday on
Okay.
November 15th at 7:30 p.m.
Okay.
in the Carl B. Taylor Auditorium. And then again the
Where-
next
where
day.
is that exactly?
That is in the SUNY SCCC campus.
Okay, so that's you drive into the parking lot and you go into the
Yeah,
main
wrap right
entrance.
around, go in the main entrance, and
Okay,
you
and
know it'll be right
Somebody
there.
will tell you anyway.
Yeah.
It'll be very easy to find, we can promise you. It'll also be on Saturday the 16th at 3 p.m. And there will be a free preview open to the public. That's going to be 7:30 p.m. on Thursday the 14th. All performances are free and open to the public. And Menotti specifically mentions that this is an opera for children. So we encourage schools, we encourage parents and families to also
And you
come out
notice
see
that I
this.
always ask, how appropriate is it for kids? And-
Entirely, 110% appropriate
Yeah,
for anyone.
yeah. You're gonna bring your baby? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if Marla will be able to sit through this, but to be honest, this opera actually runs less than an hour, unlike many larger
okay.
works which run 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And so it's possible that you could have the attention span of a young child held that long.
Yeah.
It's also important to mention that Dr. Joseph Hahn, who conducts the vocal chamber ensemble, will also be conducting this opera.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah.
This is gonna be exciting. How big, you're using an orchestra or?
Yes,
or-
a small orchestra
Okay.
as well. So that's also very exciting. Yeah.
This is amazing, and the
Yeah.
fact that you're doing it as a comp, sort of, letting everybody coming just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you got your students are able to perform and know that they've got an audience, and what a great, and you're going into the holiday season. This is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that you're doing this and that you've got a great group. What you said, 16 in the cast or something?
So, right, 6 principal singers and then a cast of about 16 in the ensemble. So
16,
yeah, 22 people
Oh, 22,
altogether.
okay, good. So we want to encourage all of you to, if you're looking for something to do on the 14th, 15th, or 16th, the 16th is in the afternoon, please consider taking some time. Not only that, you're supporting a group of individuals that are putting their little heart into Amal and the night visitors, and they deserve a good audience, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
And this is the closest place you're going to find opera being performed in the Capital Region.
absolutely, yeah. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for explaining all of the nuances of speaking your speaking your part. Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you
all
so
of
much.
you. And
Hope to see you
I'd
there.
say break a leg, but you know how that goes. Okay, enjoy. Okay, we're going to switch over to Richard Wang. Richard, you've been on before,
Yes,
and I love your work.
thank you very much.
Yes, and he's shown us. I don't know if you can bring in some of the work
I
that he's
did.
done. Yeah,
I did.
yeah. Can we get a close up of that, Malcolm? Maybe of
There's
his work
another
here.
one. Yeah.
Explain what you have here.
This
Richard.
is all the names, your names in Chinese. See, here is the ones for you.
Oh,
Exactly.
That's
your
my
na-
name here.
Yes, this is your name.
Wait,
An.
I got to do this. That's my name
An.
in Chinese.
Yes. Exact pronunciation like An. Your
An,
name.
An.
An.
Yeah.
An.
Okay, so
and-
how do you, so I'm looking at this, okay, and we'll hold it up maybe. So how is that, how do you take that? I mean, usually a word you do with like a little house with a little, you know, the mother-in-law over here and that. So you build a glyph based on other things. So is this
when
the
you
same?
choose words, because the Chinese words, each pronunciation have multiple words. You try to find the words which
Oh, so
has a good
an
meaning.
is a word.
An is exact words. It means safe.
Safe?
Yes,
Oh,
means
I am
safe.
safe.
Yes.
With you anyway.
and also peaceful.
Okay.
And this is your name Anne is pronunciation like your English name Anne. And also I add some greetings, healthy and long live.
Thank you so much for
And
this.
the bottom is my
Yeah,
seal.
everybody's got to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have other
And now you've got it for, you
samples
did it for
of-
everybody on the, no.
Yes, I have samples of
Okay.
most popular names as samples. Here is some samples.
Okay. And this is Judy.
Judy's.
Okay, now this is her name, Judy?
Yes, Judy.
And this is D?
Yeah, Judy.
Judy.
Yes.
Okay, so mine, I just get one?
Yes, because your name is Anne, right?
Okay, all right,
If
that's
you are
okay.
full
I
name,
mean,
it will be different.
So I don't get two, but that's okay. No, so that's Judy. Okay, what else do we have? Nicole.
Nicole.
And that's Nicole.
Yes, Nicole. Yeah.
Oh, I see how you do that.
Yes.
Okay. So anyone reading this would know that that's the name, right?
Yes, there's some long ones.
Okay,
You
what
see,
else do you
this
have?
one is the three ones, right?
And this one is William? Is that right? William?
Yes.
Will.
Gillian.
Okay.
Gillian.
Oh, Julia. Okay.
Gillian, you right?
Okay, got it.
Gillian. So the pronunciation will be.
Okay. And this is
This is Margaret.
Greg.
Oh, Greg. Sorry.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
Mm.
Well, it's funny. I have to tell you that my husband's name was Greg.
Oh, so
But
it's
in
Greg.
Chinese, they always used to say Grega
No.
because they heard Greg.
Ah,
So they wanted to put the ga at the
yeah,
end.
they didn't translate it right.
Exactly.
This is Greg.
Okay. So
This
that
is-
was my husband's name, yeah.
Yes, Greg.
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 Okay.
Greg.
Okay.
Greg.
Good.
And
You're a pretty
this is-
smart guy.
Thank you.
And this is Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. Joseph.
Joseph. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's look at this. Joseph. Okay. What does that mean in
Joe
Chinese?
is one of very popular family name in China.
Okay.
Also mean a circle.
Circle.
Yes, a circle. Yeah.
Okay. And then
Say
this.
is competing or better than. Oh,
Okay.
the Fu is a husband or some man.
Okay.
Also
So in
general
order
man.
to get the sound, you have to use the different glyphs, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
you want to try to put the words have meaningful. Like yours is an, it means safe. Is
Okay.
and this
Okay. Let's see. This is interesting, guys.
yes,
ahead.
and
Maybe we'll have your name up next. Who knows?
next
What is
Mary.
Mary.
Yes,
Okay. Very,
like Mary is a very popular name, right?
Yeah, Mary.
Mary. Yeah, Mary is wheat. It's a
Wheat?
like a wheat flour. Wheat.
wheat, yeah,
Yes.
wheat.
Ray is lucky.
Okay,
Fortune, lucky.
So
it
it's
means
wheat,
May is
fortune.
also very popular family name in China. So it's like a popular family name with a.
Would that be
greeting.
Ma? Ma? No,
No,
Ma is horse and everything,
No,
right?
yeah, no. That's like a wheat.
Okay,
This
wheat,
is
wheat, okay.
lucky. Lucky. So
Okay.
so
Let's do-
it's yeah. And
And this one is
Talisman.
Okay.
Talisman. Yeah. And
Okay.
Jamie.
Jamie. Oh, we just
Jamie.
had a Jamie on the show.
Jamie. Yeah. Jamie.
Jamie. Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Jamie. Yes.
Okay.
And, Elizabeth.
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 Oh, that's
yeah.
she's got a
Elizabeth,
long name.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. Elizabeth.
Z. 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 Z.
China don't have a pronunciation z. Don't have a word with z, so you chose a close one.
Okay.
Z.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Elizabeth.
Okay.
So-
And you make these. These are wonderful.
Yeah, so I gave those one as free gift to people who attend my
Oh,
workshops.
Okay, and you're doing some workshops, right?
Yes.
And the next one is the 23rd, I think?
No, next one is this coming weekend.
Okay, but you're doing one
November
on the
9th.
23rd too, right?
Yes, also
Okay.
23rd.
Okay.
November 9th will be in the Schenectady, right here.
Okay, that's right, you're
Central
doing that
Park.
one, and then the 23rd is
In
in
Gilderland.
Gildan. Okay, because
Gilderland
I wrote it
Public.
down somewhere,
Yes.
but anyway.
Yeah.
But these workshops that you do, you got a grant to do them, I understand.
Yes, I got funded by the
What-
Art Center
Well,
of
the
Capital Region.
classes go from like 11:30 to 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a long class.
So we usually, like sometimes we separate groups. Like one group, each group will be 1 hour.
Oh, I see how
So
you do that.
1
Okay.
hour, then you get a little bit of the rest time and then explain people some my works, or if they have questions, I answer questions.
Yes.
And then switch to a second group. So usually it's like a 1 hour each group,
Okay.
and then there's
Will they
answer
be able to
question.
write their name by the end of the?
No, but I will do right there. They will be learn basic Chinese jokes
Yeah.
and the simple words to writing.
Yeah.
So
But now we have one of your pieces here, right? You
Yes.
did this one. You can
Yes.
you can stand up, but be careful with your mic. Just your
Yes.
mic is okay.
yeah,
And
this
you're fine.
is
You
a
can, You
poem.
can get up and yeah, you can
Yeah.
get up.
Okay,
You,
this is a poem from the.
just go around
Tang
right here.
Dynasty.
Okay, and they can pick
Okay.
you up right here. Okay, good.
This is a Tang Dynasty poem
I'm sorry, a
by
poem
Ju Yi, Tang Dynasty. Tang
from
Dynasty.
the Tang Dynasty.
Yes, it's
Okay.
2,000 years ago.
Okay.
Tang Dynasty, this is a very famous poem. It's talk about the grass. When the grass,
Read it to us in the way that it's
the
written.
Chinese way, yeah.
Yeah.
离离原上草，一岁一枯荣。野火烧不尽，春风吹又生。远方清古道，晴翠接荒城。又送王孙去，切切满别情。So this is talk about grass and the people's say goodbye to group of friends. So it's like the vast plateau has grass. The grass living 1 year. 1 year they grow and then dies. The wildflower burn them, but when the spring coming, the spring breeze come over, they grow back again. And then just like friendships. You
So
know.
this was written in the Tang Dynasty, right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Tang Dynasty.
And you said how many years ago?
About 1,000 years ago.
1,000
Yeah,
years.
over 1,000 years
And
ago.
this carries forward and becomes something that everyone learns?
This is a very popular, a very famous poem. So most Chinese people, even kids, know it.
Okay. Now, I've been to China and I've seen the writing, but this is different. This writing is a little bit different than the simplified is what I wanted to
I
do.
have a simplified ones there.
Yeah.
In
I don't. Could somebody bring this simplified over so we can take a look at it?
there's a different poem. It's a poem I write.
Okay, you wrote this. Okay,
Yeah,
here, let me hold
a poem
it.
I
I'll hold
wrote.
it. Thank
It's
you,
talk
Malcolm.
about this season for fall. This
Okay.
talk about fall.
Now this is the simplified,
Yeah, this is a simplified. Yes, this is the most simplified word.
and that's different than what you're writing. You're
Yes,
writing in
this
the
is artistic face. This is the curvature style.
yeah, it's beautiful.
This is standard style you're writing. This is called Kai Su. This
Okay,
is called
and what is
Chao
this
Su.
poem? You wrote this poem, so you got to
Yeah.
tell us about it.
I write a poem is this talk about the beautiful views of the four seasons. The translation will be like, when you raise your eye, all you see is the tiny goldish colors around, and the tree is colorful. But the best review is the mummy flowers go around and they against the cold weather.
Okay, the cold weather.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the mummy flowers open in the fall, and then when the weather is cold, all other flower is dying. So
Yeah, this is what I've tried to learn, is
Okay.
this calligraphy.
yes, This is the beginning.
And one thing, I know we got a couple minutes, but when you write it, you always write it in a certain direction, correct? You don't.
either this direction or either this direction.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying when you write, if you write that
Yeah,
letter.
you have orders. You have order of strokes. You have
Okay.
this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So when you teach children to write
I teach them words, how to write them, each stroke orders too.
in the strokes, and the
Yes.
strokes are done the same by everyone.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've tried to learn this because I find it, first of all, it's beautiful,
Thank you.
but I like to understand other languages too.
Yeah, there's a free Chinese class in Chinese community centers for beginners or some people want
for
to.
dummies like me.
You're not dummy. You're a smart person. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, this is nice. This is very, very nice. So don't want to have anything to happen to it. So if you're interested in learning a little bit about calligraphy, take one of his classes. He's had a number of classes, but right now he's got 2 coming up. One is at the Schenectady Library, and the other is at the Gilderland Library.
Yes.
And please do that because it's so, I mean, I've taken classes in, painting and calligraphy and years ago. And it's very, I love what you've said, brush to breath.
Yes. Breath to brush.
Or breath to brush. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
breath-
said that wrong.
yeah,
But
breath.
anyways, so it's sort of like a meditation as you
Right,
do. Yeah.
exactly. Every people learn it, you say they have to hold the breath to write correctly each strokes. And they have to very concentrate to arrange every stroke so the words write
So
beautifully.
it's a
It's
nice,
a
calming
breath
thing to do,
coming,
right?
coming out down, so you forgot everything when you're writing. Exactly. Only since you focus is keep your point.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, Richard. I just love having you on the show because I learn a little bit something, and I can't wait to. Wait,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't-
yours.
wait. I want mine, just mine.
Yeah,
These are
yours
yours.
there, yes.
These are yours. My name is not Elizabeth, but I have on.
And just like
And I
pronounce
get
your
one.
English
I get
name.
one of these. So one.
Any
clip.
any of you interested, send me the name. I'll happily write for you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Richard.
You're
It's
welcome.
always a pleasure to have you on the show.
No problem.
We're going to swing over to our other guests, and this has just been such a great show, hasn't it? We talk theater, music.
Yeah.
So, are you going to go see the Amal and the? Well, I won't pressure you anyway.
Christoph and I actually go way back.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've known him. Oh man, let's say a long time.
Yeah.
Different music pursuits and
Yeah, and he
gigs and
does the
things.
William Kemp Players too. Yeah, with the Shakespeare.
Theater shows. Yeah, absolutely. We're very close friends.
Yeah. He's really a nice guy, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. So, so they're doing Amal and the Night Visitors, but you are doing one that's got I Was Glad.
Yep. So this is our upcoming concert this Saturday. Very
I know,
soon.
and it's going to be at right here in Schenectady.
Yes, right
Yep.
in the First Reformed Church in the Stockade. Beautiful venue. We did.
And the acoustics are wonderful in there.
They're fabulous
They are.
acoustics. We did our fall concert there last year. We're back there again for our fall concert this year. I Was Glad, centered around
It's English and
English choral music from anthems of the kind of Anglican church tradition to some really fun pieces for brass, organ, and chorus.
So you're
featuring-
having live music too.
Absolutely. We've got a 10-piece brass, chorus, and percussion. The central work of the concert is the John Rutter Gloria, which is a very, very high energy, really
John,
thrilling
what was his
sing.
last name? John?
Rutter.
Rutter, okay.
Contemporary English composer. He's written a lot of really great, very approachable choral music for churches, collegiate groups, community singers.
He's still alive?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So he's a current
Living composer.
Yeah,
Yep.
living composer. Okay, good. So this is coming up. Diane, how do you get to pick all these?
Well,
Or you
we
work with Andrew here?
we work together pretty much on it. We this time we kind of batted themes back and forth, and this was one we kind of hooked on to, and then Andrew, with his vast knowledge of music, put together the program.
So where does the name come from?
That is one of the works we are performing, a piece by Hubert Perry called I Was Glad. It's sort of a coronation anthem, first performed at the turn of the century and then performed every coronation since.
You mean like when they crowned the
English coronation?
Oh,
yeah,
a
exactly,
real
exactly,
coronation.
yeah.
Okay, good.
And so the version we're doing is actually a little different. It's a little unique. There are some texts that were actually for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II, and basically there's a stanza in the lyrics that changes for each
Oh, so they
king
can
or
stick
queen.
it, fill in the blank.
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
Exactly. But it's got this big brass fanfare, and it's really thrilling to sing. It's
So now this
really
is
great.
so originally this would be performed where in England? Would this be in
Westminster.
the church, Westminster Abbey,
yeah,
when
for
they were,
Westminster,
when
yeah.
they do the
And
coronation?
so in First Presbyterian, it's going to be really neat.
Yeah.
because that's
So whose name
a
are you
very
putting in
fitting-
there?
Fitting setting.
If it's a fill in the blank.
Yeah, so the text actually it's a little bit of text in Latin, even though a lot of the concert is in English. There's some pieces in Latin, and this one little line, it's Vivat Regina Elisabetta. And
Okay, so
Queen
we're sticking with
Elizabeth, yeah.
Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. Cool. So what else do you have coming up? I know that you've got. I think did you give me a?
Yes, we've got our
we've
fifth
got a
season.
busy season.
So I Was Glad is this.
Oh, and you're doing the Messiah.
Saturday.
We're
Of
going to
course.
come on again and talk about
The
the
Messiah
Messiah.
is coming
we'll talk about
right
that.
up on the heels of this concert
I
in
know.
December. And then this spring, we're very happy to be teaming up with the Schenectady Saratoga Symphony for
Yeah, I
Verdi
see
Requiem.
that. This
Yeah,
is
we
gonna
are
be
looking
exciting.
forward
Very
to that.
fun,
Oh, so
yeah.
exciting.
And where are they going? Let's see. Oh, that's going to be a Proctor.
This is going to be here.
Well, you
At
need
Proctor's,
that if you're going to
yeah.
have the orchestra, and then
Yeah.
you're going to have
Yes.
you're doing the Requiem.
Great
Oh my
big
God.
performance.
We'll
and
be a
we're
guest in their house, yes.
Really
Yeah.
excited to
How
be with
cool
them.
that. And you're doing the Handel's Messiah. You always do it in the at Union, don't you?
Mostly,
Yeah.
mostly. There have been other venues, but
Yeah.
that is.
I think you did it at St. John the Evangelist.
we
didn't
did 1 year, maybe 2 years.
you?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
I don't know
And-
where this stuff is coming from, but
Which is also a beautiful venue. But
yeah. So this is, you've got some really great events coming up. So let's just recap them. You have I Was Glad, which is coming up this coming Saturday. Did I say Saturday? Yeah.
Yes.
On the 9th of November, and that's at the First Reformed Church in Schenectady. What time does that start?
That's at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay. It's a ticketed event. Is that correct?
yes, it is. It is a ticketed event. Regular prices: adult 30, senior 65 and over 25, student with ID 15.
15.
And I'd
do
like
they
to-
buy their ticket at the church?
They can buy tickets at the door
Or
or
online.
at www.octavosingers.org. And I'd like to point out that you and people who know the Stockade know parking can be kind of a bear, but along
Yeah,
with
but you're doing it on an afternoon and on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's free parking everywhere.
oh, it's free parking.
I mean, on the
and-
street.
Exactly, but also along with First Reformed's parking lot, First Presbyterian Church up the street, and St. George's around the corner,
let you park there.
and the Stockade Inn are all allowing us to use their
Okay,
lots.
good. So that's really
So in
important
case
to know.
you don't love parallel parking like I do not, there are choices.
So all of this to say we're expecting a really nice crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
And
sure
want-
you
We
will.
hope so.
We want a lot of people to come and support our community of singers, and we've made as many parking lots in the Stockade available as possible.
Well, and
because-
I find that the Stockade is a very friendly community. And
Yes.
they're very good about sharing and, making sure that there's people are comfortable coming into the area. Yeah.
Definitely.
So just going on, you're doing Handel's Messiah, which you'll be on the show again about that, on December the 14th. And what day is that?
That's also a Saturday.
That's a
Saturday.
Saturday at 3 p.m. and that's at Union College
Yep.
Memorial Chapel, and that's your annual tradition,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
To do that, and of course, is this the full thing? The full.
So
That
this
sounds
will
terrible.
be
The full performance.
this will be my
Is this like 8 hours?
This
or?
will be my this will be my third season with Octavos, and so my third Messiah. And I've made a few cuts. It still runs about 2 hours, including an intermission.
Okay.
Which is decent.
Yeah.
Our spring performance of Mendelssohn Elijah, which was at St.
Yeah.
John's, was about the same length, and it wound up being a really thrilling show. And
Yeah.
Messiah is about that size.
Yeah, well, the Messiah, it's just like it's a holiday
Yes. Yeah,
tradition.
absolutely,
I mean, it's
absolutely.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. My kids went to Shaman High School, and after they have their Christmas, event. Well, I mean, I think they still do. My kids are all grown. The music director would say, anybody who's ever sung the Handel's Messiah, come up on the stage, and everybody's singing. Well, I mean, only the Hallelujah chorus.
Right.
I mean, they don't do the whole thing. So anyway, but let's go on. We're doing Verdi's Requiem, and that will be on April the 13th, which is in the spring at Proctor's Theater. But that's going to be the big one with the orchestra and everybody singing. It's going to be exciting.
Very dramatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And these are all ticketed events,
Yes,
just so
they are.
everybody knows. Because you need support. You got to buy your music. You
Absolutely.
got to pay people. So I do understand that.
So along those lines, I'm actually really excited for our whole season because we've got some really great instrumentalists that are going to be with us. Even the brass chorus for this concert, it's a smaller instrumental ensemble, but they're still incredibly talented musicians, a lot of Schenectady Symphony players, but also SCC players, faculty, community members.
Isn't it so nice that everybody works together?
It is, and it's also featuring our compass, who is a renowned organist, Trevor Kalba.
Wonderful,
So-
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And First Reform has a really nice organ, and so that's going to be a real treat.
Organs
Yeah.
are important.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
ones anyway. Yeah. So anyway, well, I
Definitely.
want to thank you for being here, and I'll be seeing you next month to talk more about the Handel's Messiah. I do want to tell you who's coming up next time. Don't go anywhere. No, who's coming up next? We're having the Armenian Christmas Bazaar. The oh gosh, can't remember the name of the church. I'm sorry. St. Peter. Armenian Apostolic Church. They have their big Christmas bazaar with food and everything. It's a wonderful event, and I think that's being held on the 7th. And then the Peking Opera, their academy is going to be doing their midterm performance, and that's an amazing event also, and that's going to be held in Troy. That's the Chinese Community Center will be doing that. We're also having the community reuse, and I love these people because they just want to reuse things or repair them, or don't put them in the landfill, donate them, do whatever you can, but keep stuff out of the landfill. And then we are so excited to have the Northeast Ballet on. We're going to be talking about the Nutcracker, and I believe there's going to be a few little dancers here too to show off their costumes for the event. And then we have Santa coming on, so you got to watch our next show. Santa and the Magical Express will be here, and I think he's bringing Snuggles with him as well. So we've got a great lineup coming up, and we hope that you will join us for that. I want to thank you both for being here, and I hope that you have a full house. Well, the church is pretty big, but we can pack it, can't we? Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's I was glad, right? And that comes from one of the performances there, right? As well. We have Andrew Berger with us. He's the artistic director, and also Diane Deacon, who is the president of Octavo Singers. Give them a big shout out and go see some of their performances. They're excellent. I'm Ann Perillo. You're watching Capital Region Today, and I'd like to give a big shout out for my volunteer crew who comes and does this every time we do the show, and I love them all. So thank you all for watching.